Bashers, Tuesday night, Speedy Tuesday. Who's got their Speedmasters? Dirk Kennedy at iCloud.com. I mean, you can send all your other wrist shots, but Speedmaster, Speedy Tuesday, send me all your Speedies because I want to see him. Jim Lassick sent me his beautiful 3861. I can't wait to take a look at that. How are you all doing in there? It's only 16 in the room. It's quite early days. Thanks for everybody joining us last night on Watch Fashion Police. I can't help but doing this now because I've been rewatching 30 Rock. And it's like, if you watch that, you just see the way Alec Baldwin, the way he talks about everything lemon. It's just a unbelievable comic delivery for a troubled career. Who do we got in the room? The incomparable. I've got some surprises coming with the bell. It's coming. I swear to you. Andrew Wolkowicz, Canadian, $20. I'm working till 6:30, but I'll definitely be watching the replay. Everybody enjoy the show. Take a moment to upvote and subscribe. Now, last week, we did try the 6 o'clock with very, very mixed results. Now, obviously, 6 o'clock on Friday nights is a different affair altogether, as it's myself and the big guy, and that's a party night. Everybody's around. It's the weekend. Everybody's drinking. Everybody's, a little loosey-goosey and have a bit of fun. Blah, 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 blah. But during the week, I'm still on the fence about it. So I got a lot of messages from a lot of you fine folks. And a lot of you fine folks said, I love 6 o'clock. And then a lot of you guys said, I don't like 6 o'clock. I like 5 o'clock. So we'll find a happy medium. I just want to make sure that the live show gets to whomever wants it the most and wants to be present. Because, the replays are fun. And listen, I want to make a statement here. I cannot believe how fast the channel is growing, all because of you. Because we got up to like the most views in the fastest time last Friday, Thursday and Friday, actually. And it's really picking up, and really appreciate that so very much. And I'm like dabbling with the in-ears because my wire is wonky. I got a new mic wire that fixed my little audio problem. And I have this great preamp that I haven't turned on in like 15 years. And that was like, go to hell. So, just, little things like starting tomorrow, I'm going to have a whole new sound effect scenario going on because listen, I listen to you. And what have you guys been saying? You guys have been saying that you love the bell, you hate the bell. I've had a couple of different bells. That's annoying. That one's not loud enough. That one's clipping. That one's cutting out. Listen, I know who you are, and I take to heart anything that the viewers tell me, and whatever they want, whatever they think is going to make the channel better, more fun for you and for me. And then I know who the trolls are, and I spoke to my consigliere, O'Shane, and he just said, listen, you got to avoid the trolls because the trolls do things and they say things that are unkind. And listen, in the name of comedy, I'm all for being politically incorrect, and I'm all for taking the piss out of somebody, myself included, mostly myself. I don't give a shit. Say whatever you want about me. I don't care. But please don't say stuff about other people. Be kind. That's how I end my show every single night. Hold the door open. Say please and thank you, and do not be a dick. So if you're one of those people that watch the show and enjoy the show, I thank you so much. If you're one of those people that enjoy the show to take it apart, that's your right. And that's fine. Just be kind, because kindness is contagious and it really helps the world be a better place. Be a good person. That's it. That's all I have to say about that. So how are we all doing? Who we got in the room? We've got the incomparable Carolyn Marison, Basher Time. It's time for Bashers. Daniel Gutierrez. Me, you're here. Le Catway. Do you like the new Speedy with the Rocket? I love the new Speedy with the Rocket. Holy crap. You know what's funny? A couple of years ago, when I was still at El Rio Grande, where I was for almost 24 years, and I did brunches for a really long time, and I love working brunch because I love daytime folks. Nighttime folks, not so much, because Tiffany, Amber, and Bethany show up, and the guys that they want, and their Instagram and their phones. I liked it better when people all looked 40 and they all smoked cigarettes and they were all wasted at the bar. I much preferred the olden days when it came to drinking. People were pissed drunk. Fucking, let me have another beer there. Let me get 2 drafts and a vodka tonic for that pretty girl. I like that better than, oh my God, so you guys are like, oh my God, what's your specials? Do you guys have specials tonight? I want a pomegranate marg. And I like a pomegranate marg. Do you guys have whipped cream? No, we don't have whipped cream. That's what it kind of devolved into. So that's what goes on Friday night. We have all the fun people in the room and none of the Tiffany Embers and Bethany's and the people who are like them. It's just, I think there should be a course. That would be great when you turn league of legal age, because everybody drinks before legal age, of course, lemon, they all do. And you should learn how to behave in a bar, how to ask for drinks, how to order drinks, how to say please and thank you, instead of like taking 50 years. It's like standing in line at Walgreens, or I don't know, wherever you are, Boots, wherever your big commercial chemist is. In New York City, it's always been called Dwayne Reed, which was bought by Walgreens, and they ruined it. They ruined the whole Dwayne Reed New York thing. So now it's more like Walgreens. Even the floor, they put linoleum down. They made the place just look cheaper. But now when you're standing online, you have to wait forever. They actually kind of corral you into this. Instead of like being a normal person and getting in a queue like an average, normal thinking, person, you have to get into this little corral. And they're like, next guest. And I always go, this is like a Louder Milk thing. I always go, but I'm not staying here. Next guest. How is a customer? When customer is no longer a cool word. Like, is it un-PC to say customer? Do we have to say guest? Is that the softness to make everybody feel good about themselves? Next guest. Ridiculous. Anyway, I digress. Travis Watts, cheese, Dirk. I know you. Oh, cheers. and cheers to you, Travis. We have the incomparable Carlos Paggi. Hi, Dirk, from Banbury, England. Not Banbury, Banbury. I'm sure it is. Speaking the Kings. It's back to the Kings. It was the Queens for a long time, but it's back to the Kings. Blackbird SP. Let's bash. Hope you're well, Dirk. I am. Thank you so much. Took a little nap. Had a big double espresso and one of Dana's crack-induced chocolate. I mean, I should have brought the box with me so you could see what it looks like. I'm going to post it on my Instagram. I took a picture of how I feel when I'm on those. It's just like these little pieces of chocolate, and they have like a ton of caffeine in them. They crack you out like it's the 1970s. It's nuts. Rufus says, evening, Dirk. All evening to you, Rufus. And the incomparable, ladies and gentlemen, Nathaniel Hannon with $9.99. I don't know about loosey goosey, but I'm definitely a silly goose. And you are a silly goose, Nathaniel. You're a silly goose. A smarty silly goose. Scotty H, how about a gong? The gong's on its way. I ordered it from Amazon, and it's very small, but it's supposed to sound great. The reviews were good, and they said it's delayed. They said I'll be getting it soon. So I'm going to choose the gong for the big ones. Scotty H, you would know exactly about that because you've been a pretty impressive super chatter. So you'll definitely get the gong. You deserve a commemorative gong. But it's funny. We watched. Let me get to everybody in a second. Just make sure I have everybody in the room. We got 16-3 in the room. Ray recovered from naughty Michaela. She's a lovely girl and she's a lady. Everyone should remember that. And who do we got? We have Jack Daw. Hi, Jack Daw. I don't recognize that name. I think you are worrying too much, mate. I love the bell, and you're the governor of your own show, man. Thank you so much, Jack Daw. And I'm sorry if I didn't recognize you from the thing. You know what? We use StreamYard, and StreamYard doesn't have, which I wish it had. I wish it had a list of everyone who's in the room so I could glance at it. So the only way I know is when you make a comment. So there you are. And of course, we see the super chats first because they highlighted and they have color. So if anybody feels a little bit slighted, it's not like I'm not getting to you because of that reason. It's just that I see those first. It's just the way it works. But I wish they had a list of everybody who was in the room, like OnlyFans. Kidding. Daniel Gutierrez, Dirk, loving Lions tea. It's my tea. It's my tea of choice. I used to be a Lions Green Label guy, and now I am strictly a Lions Gold Label. However, I don't have any in the house right now because I've been putting off going to my local Irish, which is a couple of subway stops away, and I've been drinking the Barry's. But you know what? It's okay. JBB says they're auctioning off 120 of Mark Knopfler's guitars tomorrow. Looks like you could use a few more. Ba-dum-bum. Yeah, if I had a mansion, like I said, I don't play guitar live. I mean, I have, but I don't generally because I'm a singer and a songwriter. So most of my guitars are because I love them and because that's how I write. I used to write on piano all the time. That was my only writing instrument. And then I always wanted to be a guitar player. And, I started collecting guitars slowly. This is the one I got for $800 at Guitar Center. You can't see it, Eric, because it's green and I have a green screen. I always forget that that's like that. You can see the neck though. It's a 1995 Fender American Telecaster custom shop from Corona, California. It's the top of the line one that they make with a maple fingerboard with a bird's eye bird's eye dots. And that just kind of opened the floodgates, even though that's the one that never gets, that's the one that gets played, and I write everything on that. My piano is buried back here, and I almost never touch it, which is really shitty because I'm going to be terrible next time I try to play something. Wallace 9, pick your favorite time zones for your show. The bell is good, or maybe a pre-recorded guitar riff. Working on just that because, and I'll get to it in a minute. We watched part 2 of Killers of the Flower Moon last night, and the end of that, I'll get to it in a second. I'll tell you. Vedster, just want to make sure everybody's in the room. Hello, Vedster. Le says, gay men making a wish, do not be a dick is always surprised. No, not do not have dick, just don't be a dick. Travis says, I never took a drink until I was 21. However, you made up for lost time. Just want to make sure. Jam Lassick, the man with the 3861, says, happy Tuesday, everybody. He doesn't normally do Speedy Tuesdays, but he's doing it now. He's doing it tonight. Time Fly says, looking good, Dirk. Looking good to you. Time flies too. Oh, here's a question. Naughty Fox _27R. Hi, Dirk. Which leather strap would you recommend? Ooh, this is tough. For the Omega Speedmaster 321 Ed White. I trust you to guide me on this. Now, listen, that's a tough one because the Ed White comes with that beautiful original flat link bracelet, but modern milling. So it's absolutely beautiful. And I know that the Speedmaster is a strap monster. As we all know, it's the ultimate strap monster. That would be hard for an Ed White because that bracelet is the most beautiful bracelet that they ever had. So that's really tough. I guess my favorite for a Speedmaster has always been a really worn dark brown or medium brown leather with perforated like a driving strap with perforated holes in it. I love that. I love the the one that looks like the underside. I don't wear leather per se. I wear like a fake leather, but there's plenty of those to be had only because I'm a vegetarian and stuff like that. And I do have some leather things in my arsenal that are from a long time ago, even though I've been a vegetarian since I'm a kid. But in general, I don't. But for you guys, because I'm not a dick, I would recommend maybe Nap. Go to Nap. I could get the link for you in a little while because he makes beautiful home bespoke straps just for guys like you. Daniel Gutierrez, $2. What was your best first class experience? I hate to be, and I hate this term, and the British use it all the time. Spoiled for choice. Yeah, that's right. We're spoiled for choice. Listen, my dad was an American for his entire life, and so therefore, so was I up until last year. So, what was my best for? Probably when I was a kid and I didn't appreciate it. When American had 747s, because those cabins were just so big and roomy, and maybe they didn't have individual TV screens and those creature comforts that we all expect today. But you know what they did have? A woman with a cart, like carving a roast and caviar and Cristal and Dom Perignon, those things went away. They took some things away and put other things in there, like TV screens. And we never got a menu like you get nowadays. They would just be like, tonight's choices of rack of lamb, cherries Jubilee, baked Alaska. They would come and tell you. So I would say probably when I was a kid and I was flying on 747s, but as an adult, I'll tell you exactly. My favorite seat is 1 Alpha, which is left-hand side of the plane, first row, bulkhead. A couple of years ago, we were on our way to London. We're actually on our way to England, but I always use Heathrow as my gateway because it's easy. It's easier to get on that flight because American has like 4 or 5 flights a day. So your chances of getting in first, because it's a little bit of I have an app on the phone and I get to see how many people are on the flight, who's getting first, who's not getting first. And then I can actually reroute us if it looks like we're going to get thrown in the back, which I can't do anymore because those days are over. But we both got business and it was great. And we were sitting down, plane was getting ready they closed the doors, and this lovely flight attendant came up. She goes, "Which one of you boys is the lucky boy today?" And what? She goes, "We have got 1 Alpha they didn't show up. So we've got a seat up front. So one of you guys gets it." And that's going to split us up. But here's the thing with Paul. And this is true of every single flight of the trillions of flights we've taken together, is Paul eats dinner and falls asleep. And I don't sleep on planes. I'm up, I'm drinking the wine, enjoying the stuff, talking to everybody because I'm a yap yapper, hanging out with the crew. That's my thing. So I said to him, "Why don't you take first? You go there and sleep." He goes, "I don't give a shit. I don't need that. I'm going to fall asleep in a second." So I went up. I got 1 Alpha. I had the best time ever. It was New York City to Heathrow on a 777 300 extended range, the 300 ER. And it was great. And I have lots of pictures of that. I'll post them on Instagram. I actually took an entire video of the descent and the landing into Heathrow. And I haven't watched that in a while. And it's probably really long, but I'll probably post it. Yeah. So Travis says alligator with an omega. Always, of course, an omega deployment. Of course, you want a deployment. Of course, you want that. I don't know about I feel bad for the alligator, so maybe not. Hey, dude, maybe bring your image up a bit. This is Aaron O'Malley. This is the older brother of the big guy. Hello, Aaron. How are you? Hey, dude, maybe bring your image up a bit further up the screen, as the super chats are giving you a Kilroy vibe. As in Sticks? Kilroy was here. Yeah, I could probably do that. Let me see. Yeah, give me a second. There goes my magnet. I have this new stand for my thing. That's better, right? Hey, there you go. Thanks for the tip, Aaron. I took it, and you're right. It's much, much better. Thank you, sir. Naughty Fox says, "Thank you, Dirk." Yeah. You know what I'll do? We could go through some straps later on. We'll have probably some time. Let's go after I do the wrist shots. Let's go through a couple of straps. Michael Knapp is the guy that Acheen has a relationship with. Sent him a lot of beautiful straps. They're absolutely gorgeous and handmade. And listen, you could go on Amazon or go to Macy's or go to any store. I wouldn't recommend going to for the deployment. Yeah. And that's where the money is. But to be fair, I can't believe how much money. Listen, bracelets are expensive. Like, okay, so here's this guy, right? This bracelet. This is, obviously a Rolex Oyster bracelet. It's like, over $1,000 for that thing. And Omega's just as bad. It's metal. I get it. It's steel. It's milled. It's machined, etc. But NATO's, Omega wants like $450 for NATO's. It's a lot of money, and I don't like it. Don't like it. Tom Voss in the house. Dean, what's happening? What's happening, Dean? MJOH flying dub to Chicago a couple weeks ago, and a young gal behind me had a psychotic episode. Not good. Ugh. Jeez. I don't look forward to being in the back of the bus with all the kook bags. I've done it. Listen, I've done it. I've been on Ryanair, Best line from Catastrophe, which was a great Sharon Horgan, Rob Delaney show. It was an ITV show, and it was on Amazon Prime here. If you've not seen Catastrophe, it's about an American guy who goes to London on business, meets an Irish girl in a bar. They have, sex for a week. He goes home. She finds out she's pregnant. She rings him up. He comes over, and they decide to give it a go, and they get married. And it's a great show. A lot of hilarity ensues. And she's Irish, and she lives in London, and her parents come over for a trip. And the father has a stroke, right? And they always say that you smell strawberries or something when you're about to have a stroke or a heart attack. You smell oranges. It's like the kind of an old saying, wives' tale, but apparently it's true. And they say to the mother, "Did you smell?" She goes, "I should have known about strawberries on Ryanair." She goes, "I should have known about the strawberries." She goes, "Fresh fruit on Ryanair, like that'll ever happen." You know what you get on Ryanair? A lottery card. That's about it. Danny Gutierrez, did you ever get to fly Concorde? Long story short, unbelievable thing. Totally available to people on American Airlines. And the answer to that is no. John Doe, one of the best shows ever. Yeah. Oh, you watched it. It's great. Okay. So we got everybody in the house at that. Make sure I got all the super chats. Daniel Guitars, $2. Oh, that was a super chat. I'm so sorry, Daniel. This might be the last time I ever do this because I've got something else planned. But if for those of you who enjoy the bell, it's an incense bell, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, that would probably be the last time. I almost got it done tonight, but not quite. Because I have an iPad and I'm going to trigger stuff. It's going to be better. I'm going to have lots of different things. I'm going to have like a scale of super chats. Anyway, thank you for that, Daniel, so much. Killers of the Flower Moon. And the whole impetus of me actually was Paul's idea, because at the end of that movie, they have a radio show to wrap this 3.5 hour movie up. And I'll get to a little bit of a review of it in a minute. They do a radio show, and like I didn't realize like Jack White is there. He's like one of the actors. And in the old radio shows, they would do it on a stage, and they'd have sound effects and bells and dials and sand, and they would do like Foley, which is I don't know what Foley is called now in films. It's called like sound design. So sorry about that. These are my in-ears, and they're just all over the place. The worst cables. These things cost trillions of dollars for these professional singer, live things. But the wires get tangled up so badly every single time you put them away, no matter how perfectly you roll them. So they have these sound effects things, and it's like this whole kind of like southerny looking show, and they're giving a wrap up of the story of this film, and they show all the different sound effects that they did. And I was like, oh shit. And Paul said, why don't you have a digital version of all that stuff? So I'm assembling this little thing of sound effects. So just to make the show a little bit more fun. Anyway, here's the seltzer. So Killers of the Flower Moon. Who's seen it? I put this movie off. It's free. It's on Apple. It's not free. You have to pay for Apple. However, I watched Maestro. I couldn't wait for it. And while I mostly love Maestro, I felt like they did a disservice to his musical accreditations, because it was mostly about his personal life, and they glossed over like Candide and West Side Story and all the things he actually wrote. Forget about the conducting and the Mahler and all that. Yes, great, of course, amazing. But he was also an incredibly gifted writer. Maybe not the most prolific. However, he was a great writer. Some of those melodies from West Side Story are some of the greatest ever. And yeah, Stephen Sondheim wrote the lyrics, but the melody alone, it's probably the most hummable show ever. That may be The Sound of Music of Rodgers and Hammerstein, but anyway, so I'm trying to see all the movies. All the Oscar, nominations came out, and I don't know a lot about Poor Things, and I'm a little tired of Emma Stone and her zeal. I'm a little over her thing, her big eyes, and just it feels one-dimensional to me. And I'll get over it. I will watch it. But I was putting off this Killers of the Flower Moon. One, because I think Scorsese has just been putting out just like, whatever. And it was very hard for me to get through his last one, The Irishman. It wasn't bad. It was really good. It was just boring. And everybody's making these 3-hour movies. They're all too long. Anyway, Killers of the Flower Moon was exceptional. The beginning of it was very, very long. We broke it into 2 nights because we had to do that because I live with Paul and he falls asleep at the drop of a hat. The beginning of it was slow, but it was so beautifully filmed. So absolutely, I mean, it's Scorsese completely went back to making cinema. It was absolutely gorgeous. And I don't remember who did the cinematography on that. I'll have to look that up. Because I thought Matthew Labatique, who did Maestro, should win the Academy Award for Best Looking Film, because I don't think Oppenheimer looked good at all. But Oppenheimer was really boring, and it's not Best Picture by far. It's not. Robert Downey Jr. should win. Christopher Nolan should not win. He's made way better films. I think this is maybe the worst film he's ever made. There's a lot of stuff in there. There's too much information in Oppenheimer that they assume everybody knows, and they did not suss it out. So, like you think Tiffany, Amber, and Bethany know about, the Manhattan Project. They don't fucking know about that at all. At all. They know about, who's on Insta and what's going on Snapchat and Twitch. They don't know about that. And I was like, wait, I know most of that stuff, but I was like, oh, wait, why did they gloss over that? Anyway, Killers of the Flower Moon is it's a masterpiece. It is really. And the performances are great. Leonardo DiCaprio is another one who I'm totally bored with. I just think of him as like this bloated playboy now, but man, he was terrific in this. And here's the thing, Robert De Niro, for the first time in absolute ages, doesn't act like Robert De Niro. He's been dialing in like Al Pacino has for a very, very long time. And he's not dialing in at all. This is a real character, a really sussed out character that he's really worked on. He has become, it's a horrific characterization of this apparently real person. Because if you don't know what the story is, I don't know if I should tell you, but it's basically about the United States government gave allotted land to the Native Americans, and this, in particular, these are the Osage people. And it turns out there was oil all over their land, so they became very rich. So these white man people came in and they figured out a scheme to marry the inheritance women, and then a scheme is a plan is concocted to get a hold of their properties by murder. This Lily Gladstone, she is the front runner for Best Actress. She's terrific. I've never seen her before. I don't know who she is. It's a very subdued performance. She does a lot of staring and a lot of mumbling, and it's very good. However, she's the front runner, and I think Carey Mulligan outacted the living fucking bejesus out of her in Maestro. That's the best performance of the year for me. So while I'm not going to do, I'm sure Oshin and I will do a Friday Night Bashers when the Oscars comes around the pike, and we'll do that because that's always fun. And then Michaela and Oshin and myself will do the fashions and all that stuff. But I thought she was good. She was really good. I didn't mind her. I thought the supporting cast was outrageous. It's beautiful. The middle of the film is the best part of the film. When we restarted it at the halfway point, it was really aggressive and good, and the story was moving, and things that you wanted to happen happened. And then at the very end, they kind of wrapped it all up in a pretty bow with this radio show to let you know what the fates were of all these people involved. And I will say this, justice was not served. But then again, we're talking about the 1920s and 30s when justice had a different vibe, which is really sad. So that's my take on Killers of the Flower Moon. I'm glad I watched it. Dean, £4.99 super sticker. Hey, Dean, how are you? Dean, thank you for all the wrist shots you've been showing us. Thank you to everyone who's been. Listen, I just feel like because this is our show. This is not my show. This is our show. And I've always said, iBashers is a Sheen and myself. That's the brand. I do this during the week, but I do the show with you guys. So this is our show. So if you've got wrist shots, and I could check my mail, see if you sent me any more new ones. That was a big bang outside. I don't know what the hell that was. Oh yeah, there's a couple. I'm gonna load those. Ooh. Oh my. I am very scared. Oh, Travis, you sent me one too. Oh, Rolex. Oh, look at that. Oh, Wallace 9. Okay, I got some good ones. Thanks. Send them on. Because, listen, the second half of the show, I love to look at your wrist shots because I'm a pervert and I love wrist shots. I have a wrist fetish. I love to, like I always said, that like guys are now gay for watches. It's like one day I'm gonna get punched out on the subway because this is what I'm always doing. I'm always checking out people's wrist shots. You want to know in every movie. It's such a disease that now all you do is stare at people's wrists, and then I'll be like, whoever I'm with, or if I'm with myself, I'll be like, it's a shame that 42 doesn't work on that guy, or wow, he could wear a 46. He could wear Panerai. It's just really terrible. Ray says, multi-watching you, Dirk on the big screen, Timmy on the laptop, commenting on phone, childbirth and smoking. Easy. Hey, simmer down now, Ray. You crazy bastard. You're crazy. Are you drinking too? Childbirth? What does that mean? Are you in the middle of childbirth? Daniel says, did Leo put on weight for the part, or is he like that? No, he's like that. I don't know. DiCaprio, listen, this, and Osheen and I talk about this too, because when you hit 50, not even 40s. In my 40s, I was still Dapper Dan. But something happens to you where you just get thicker. Like your back gets thicker, everything gets thicker, and then of course you start to shrink. But you could, if you do a lot of aerobics or yoga, which I did religiously, and I don't do now, which I need to do. You can keep that at bay. But Leonardo DiCaprio is so thick, and his head is so big. I just can't figure it out. He just looks like he drinks a lot, and yeah, he just doesn't look like he does any kind of exercise at all. He's just not in great shape. He's not like, look at a guy like Christopher Maloney, who's about the same age, or any of the guys that kept themselves really fit. I think, listen, now with Ozempic, when you're a Hollywood star, I mean, is there a bigger star than Leonardo DiCaprio? Tom Cruise. Well, look at Tom Cruise. Look at the shape that guy's in. He's got a weird body, just to be sure, probably because he's my height, maybe a little shorter. And, so you can be compact. And I'm kind of stocky too. I think we're built kind of the same way. But it doesn't look as sinewy and beautiful as if you have a long torso. Like Burt Reynolds had a really long torso, if you're old enough to remember who Burt Reynolds is. Yeah, so he got a little thick. Yeah. Scotty H back with the legendary $10. I live about an hour from where the story took place and was filmed. How interesting. So I did not know the origins of this story, and I did not know that even happened. I had no idea. It was gut-wrenching to see that kind of behavior perpetrated against these people. And that's just the sin of humanity, right? For some reason throughout the ages, and of course now well, now we pretend it's not true, but it's happening in the Middle East, and it's happening in a lot of places where we consider certain people of ethnic and or religious backgrounds to be lesser than what we are. And of course, the white man being, this beautiful spiritual people who loved the earth and the animals and treated them with dignity. And, these caricatures of Native Americans smoking and being drunks, where do you think that came from? They didn't have alcohol. They had stuff, but they didn't have alcohol. It's not so long ago, like the Holocaust is not so long ago. Milosevic is not so long ago. What are we dealing with the West Bank, and Gaza and all that stuff? And Ukraine it's incredible how, for some crazy reason, we're all the fucking same. We're all made out of the same stardust. Everyone's made out of the same shit. We're made out of stars. We're just stuff. And for some reason, somebody always thinks that they're better. So the white men moved in on these people who, came into riches. What did they have? Beads, and what did they trade? An ox for a mule or a buffalo. Then all of a sudden, this oil that they had tons of it, and they became so wealthy. And you see them kind of buying a lot of stupid stuff in the film because they never really had. They never really understood that. Like, it's kind of like when people get rich and they start buying really Ferraris and diamonds and stupid watches, whatever, all of a sudden it shows the Indians becoming vain because it was introduced to them. It was not something that they had. And it was really funny. Ray, sorry, no offense to smokers. I am one. Who did you offend here? Did you offend somebody? There's no smoking section on my show. Smoke your brains out there, Ray. This is this is your show. Do what you want. Scotty H said the book is excellent. I might want to read the book now. I mean, it's a historical book because I only read biographies and historical stuff. I hate fiction. I'm done with fiction. Unless somebody's got a great book. Any of you bastards out there that's got a great fiction. I haven't read. Last fiction was probably something sci-fi, and it was Robert Heinlein. And I'm trying to remember what it was. But that was probably the last book. I mean, like I said, I read The Great Gatsby every March. So we're coming up on that. I just read it because I think it's flowery and beautiful, and I love it. Rufus said, I loved The Drops of God. It received no attention. I don't even know what that is. Isn't that sad? I don't even know what that is. Is that I'll have to look that up. And you loved it. Okay. Drops of God. Okay. Yeah, I have to catch up on it. And listen, I don't go to movie theaters because about 2008, I might have mentioned this before, we went to see Avatar, probably the worst movie ever made, and we brought home bed bugs. So I've not been in a movie theater ever since because I'm afraid to. So I'll rent something. I rented something the other day. I'll rent it if it's $5 to $10. I know it costs $20 for one person to get into a movie theater, and of course you can drink and smoke and have popcorn and whatever you want in my theater. Nobody gives a shit. But I have to go look at all the things. So far I've seen a chunk of them. I haven't seen The Poor Things. Was Drops of God. It received no attention. We'll go look at that in a minute if you don't mind. Travis Watts says that viewing others as subhuman is how they could stomach their barbarism. Yeah, well, isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? Let me go look at this. You said it's called Drops of God, right? Drops of God. Oh, it's a TV series. It's a TV series. Okay, somebody wrote me a letter saying, takes you too long to share your screen. It's like, all right. Drops of God. While the world of wine mourns the death of Alexandre Léger, his estranged daughter Camille learns his extraordinary collection is now hers. But before she can claim her inheritance, Camille must best Alexandre's protege, Issier, in a test of their senses. Oh, that's going to make me mad. It's going to make me really mad. I'm so in on this, bro, because I love the wine. But of course he's like some Asian dude because they bought all the Bordeaux and all the Burgundy. They bought it all with their incredible wealth. They went and bought it all. So that's why the prices went bananas for the high end stuff. I'm talking about Lafite, all the Rothschilds, all of the, the Chateau Margaux and the Domini Romani Contis and the Latashes and all that stuff went through the roof. because all of a sudden the Asian market decided that it wanted it and was willing to pay a premium for it, like everything, like watches do. I know the Asian market's really big for watches, but and they have generally small wrists. So I was talking to Sheen the other day about why doesn't Omega make like 32s and Rolex make like 32 to 34s? They'd make a killing for that market because they're smaller people. They have thinner frames, so it might work out well for them. And then all the other watches you guys could have, because there's nothing worse than looking at a clock on somebody's wrist when it's like a 42 on a skinny little twink. It doesn't look very good. Not a big fan of that at all. So it is the second part. It's 20 minutes too. So let's go take a look at your beautiful wrist shots, my dear friends, my fine friends. And let's start out with Wallace 9. Look at this. Oh, man. This is the 44.25 millimeter. That's the 329-3344-5101-001 racing. Absolutely. Look, this is what I've said a million times to my constituents. Omega makes so many variations of the Speedmaster. This is an absolute gorgeous coaxial master chronometer watch that it's absolutely fucking beautiful. Can you believe this thing? I love the racing dial. I like the Michael Schumacher, which you can have for a song. I've seen it on Chrono for less than $3,000. Absolutely seen it for less. This is a beautiful piece, man. Absolutely gorgeous. Wow. Wowzers, man. That's a beautiful one. Thank you so much for that. Then, what else do we have? From Travis. Look at this. His 114060 Submariner. No date. My personal favorite Submariner is the no date. I like it classic. I like it black. I like the sub. I like the one that Emmett O'Malley wears on his wrist. I think that's it. I have the fake one somewhere, and you know what? Like, because I couldn't give a shit. I couldn't find it the other day because I don't care. I changed the polarity on this. That's why it doesn't work as well. Because I wanted it to be a little bit more shotgun. Look at that. Look at that. How it fits on your wrist, man. Let's get a better shot of this. Can I get the whole thing? Beautiful fit on you, man. That looks so great. What an absolute beast. Get a beastly arm too, right? Looking good. Not only do I talk about your watches, but I'll rate your wrist presence. Wrist presence. WP, kids. It's all about wrist presence. Old watch lady. She does have watches that don't maybe suit her because of the sizes, but she curates watches in such a way that her wrist presence is just beyond. She's got a great eye for detail and mostly vintage, etc. But look at this. This sits on your wrist like a superstar. And you are. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Who doesn't love that? And what else we got? We've got from Vedran Sinclair. Well, look at that, baby. Yeah, this is, the unsung watch. This is the one that, this is the blue No Time to Die, right? This is the one that I saw at Speedy, what was it called? Planet Omega. Or is that just the regular one? It is just the regular one. And you have it on a Milanese bracelet. Yeah, because it's got the wave dial on it. Oh, look at that. You tricked me. Wow, 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 wow. Wow. Look at that. That fits nice on you. Actually, you got a big wrist because it's actually a little tight. Very nice. This, everybody who goes for the original iteration that Sheen and my father-in-law of this particular watch before it was a laser cut dial. That's the one that started it off for everybody. But this is the current one that they sell, and it's a beautiful, beautiful piece. I don't see a lot of them in the street as well, and I think that's another thing about that. I don't know why that is. Because it's such a beautiful piece. I do see a lot of the other ones. The the original the original No Time to Dies I see, those are a lot more visible than they've ever been visible before. But this one I don't see very often in the wild. It's very, very, very rare. I don't know why that is. You know, I see the 2451 a lot. I don't see this one a lot, and I love it. It's a beautiful watch. I've never really tried it on because Paul's dad, he's got the original he's got the 2451. And this one is a whole other beast. It really is, truly. I love it. I like the laser dial. I don't know how you guys feel about the laser dial. I'm a big fan of it personally myself. I think it's beautiful. I don't have a problem with it. I know a lot of people who are the purists. I mean, this watch is like $6,000, you know? I think that's all it is. I think it's $6,000. Very, very easy to get for most people. It's a hell of a lot less than buying a Rolex. But if you have to have that name, you know, which is really, really shitty, you know, but it's beautiful. Yeah, I love it. That's the 210 30 42 20 03 001, right? I love it. Beautiful piece. Beautiful piece. Oh, it is the 60th anniversary Bond Seamaster. You know, the way, because that Milanese bracelet, I didn't realize that it had the etching on it. I apologize for that. Thank you. That's £2. It's beautiful. I love that watch. Gorgeous. Dean, what does that say? Omega R Doomf. How do you pronounce it? Doomf? I don't know. Is an automatic speedy over a manual? No. I have mine's an automatic. Sure, I'd love a manual one, and I will get one. I'll get my 60th anniversary Speedy eventually. That's then I'm kind of done after that. Other than vintage, because I want to start collecting really vintage Omega Seamasters and DeVilles. And there you can buy those $400 or $500 on eBay and elsewhere and have those semi-restored and working condition. That's going to be my thing. So for me, it's going to be my Speedy Reduced. It's going to be the Milgauss and my 60th anniversary Speedmaster. And that's going to be my collection because I don't really need more than that. Those are the watches I love. I have 2 of them. I have 1 left to get. And then I'm going to start collecting like really vintage Speedies, vintage Omegas. I'm never going to be able to touch you know, the crazy ones from the 50s, from 57 on, the, you know, CK2915 or any of those variations after that, the 321s, they're untouchable. Those are like 59 Les Pauls. They're impossible. Dean says Omega are doing a lot of discounts on models. You know, they are, because, you know, the market is, but, and if the Rolex market starts to not dry up, but if that is going down in price, certainly that's going to have an effect on a brand like Omega, which is, you know, listen, Rolex is the biggest. Forget about all the, you know, Jaeger-LeCoultre and Lange, Zone, all that stuff. Rolex is the biggest company in the world, followed by Omega, and that's just the market share. That's just how it works. It's going to affect Rolex immediately. It's going to immediately affect Omega immediately, certainly after that. And what are you going to do? That's what happens. And so, of course, they're going to be giving away, you know, discounts on their newer product. And why shouldn't they? Because they want it to be out there in the marketplace. You don't want to make something and not sell it. That would be a very, very big mistake, right? Yeah. So, which do I recommend? I mean, if you got the money, I'd say go for the Ed White, or just go for a 3861. You know, you go for the, you know, that's a sapphire sandwich, which is beautiful. Or, you know, just go back in time and go get a 1861. You can get those a lot cheaper. You used to be able to get those for like $2,000, $2,500, but now they're well over $4,000 now. You know, $4.99, Jim Lassick, the incomparable Jim Lassick. Yours is coming up in a minute, my dear friend. I don't know, novelty. They're pretty. I wouldn't want one personally for myself because I'm not into that whole burst of whatever that color thing. It's not my shtick. I think they're pretty. I saw them at Planet Omega, and I was like, they're little porcelain-y looking, a little dusty looking for what I like. So, yeah. Daniel says 3861. I mean, it's listen. The 321 is like the holy grail Blamanier based movement that everybody talks about as being the greatest thing, and it is. And they brought it back, and obviously tweaked it a little bit to be a little bit more, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the 861, the 1861, the 3861, these are all revisions. Yes, I understand. There's the whole column wheel, out of the clutch thing. That's a totally different story. But these are technically improvements on the theme. It's like Michael Bublé and autotune. Stop using that, Michael Bublé. You don't need it, my friend. You're too good a singer. So, what we got here? His and hers. Are you ready for this, kids? Oh, boy. Look at this. Jesus Christ. I mean, what are we talking about right here? That is just not even fucking believe. That's a Speedy Reduced, which I have on my wrist right now. I keep it. I put all the things on my other screen, and that I think that's a 105.003 with the straight baton hands, and the it's either that or 105.012. We're talking about a 361, a 321 movement here, my friends, my kitty friends. Absolutely beautiful, and that's the strap. Bum, like the opposite side, like the textured, instead of it being like tanned and smooth and beautiful. That's the one. So if you're gonna get a strap, so here we go. There it is, perfect. We don't have to go looking at straps at all. That's the one you want. Find the guy that makes that, Michael Knapp. You can look him up. As a matter of fact, let me go see if I can get Michael Knapp. It's called Strap-A-Watch, I think. Strap-A-Watch. Michael Knapp leather. And that's it, right? I don't know what the rules are. You're like, not allowed to spruik people. I don't know if that's true, but I don't really care. I'm gonna copy this. Copy. There you go. This is the guy that makes absolutely beautiful straps, custom made for you. They're absolutely beautiful. They're very affordable, or affordable for couturier quality, because he truly is a strap couturier. So there's 100 of you in the room, and if any of you, I don't have one by him, and I just have seen the beautiful work that he has done, and I've held it in my hand, and it is absolutely the most stunning in the world that I've seen. They're much higher quality than most commercial straps. So anyway, look at these two beauties. Holy smokes. I mean, that's the dream right there. I mean, I'm a broad arrow guy. Of course, I'm never going to get a CK2 915, either the 01, 02, or the 3, the revisions before they, decided to go away from the broad arrow. Then they went Dauphine, and then they went Alpha, and then they went to the baton hands. You can't beat that. And you know what? You don't want to restore that. You don't want to make it stupid. You don't want to have that polished up. You want to leave that bezel the way it is. Absolutely crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, the incomparable Samlet Consulting. Bashers, where have you been, Samlet Consulting? Love the Speedy on. That's the trick. If you're not gonna wear it on the bracelet, that's the one. You want that inside. It's like suede. What do you call the underside of leather? The untanned part, the one that's like rough. That just looks outrageous on somebody's wrist. A pair of jeans, a t-shirt. It looks amazing. Absolutely beautiful. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much for that. Then we got we have another Speedy. Let's present that, shall we? And this is from Vaughn with his Seamaster. Yeah, these are, I mean, listen, when you're going ceramic, I mean, listen, it's a coaxial master chronometer. I mean, these things are all anti-magnetic. They are so far advanced as far as fit, finish, and movement. They're a way better value than Rolex. I know there's a lot of Rolex cats and girls out there, but like, you know, Omega's more bang for the buck. I mean, that's way more watch for your money. It's not worth as much. It doesn't cost you as much. You can't sell it for as much, but it's got a whole lot more going on for it. Just Rolex doesn't have to. Omega does. Omega's got to do it. Omega's got to go out. Omega. They do. And it's a beautiful watch. And he's got it on a white rubber. Huh? Look at that. That looks pretty good. Pretty damn good. Yeah, it's a beautiful piece. Thank you so much for that. Okay, then we got, what do we have here from Robert? Let me blow this up. Can I blow this up? Okay. Inherited this watch from my dad. It's a Gerald Genta. Sorry, it's a small picture. Let me blow this up. Can I blow this up? I can. And I'm going to get rid of that. So sorry for the gent that hates the way I do this, but, you know, I'm going to get one of those bigger screens and then it'll help me out. There you go. How's that? Yay! That's Universal Genève automatic, the white shadow. Look at the die. It looks very Gerald Genta, right? Very unique piece. Very. What year is this from, man? Did you say? Did you tell me what year this is from? You didn't. It's an astral plane dial, and the white clusters are to denote galaxies. So holy shit, huh? Contained the thinnest movement at the time at 2.5 millimeters in the industry for a number of years. Beautiful. Thank you so much for that. That was absolutely astonishingly beautiful. I love weird choices, you know. I mean, we all get to see the big stuff all the time. We don't need to. We don't need to. All the time. And this is interesting. We talked about Christopher Ward last night. You know, I don't own one of these. It's not my thing. This is the 36 millimeter GMT. Looks pretty small on your big manly paw. I like the green, the khaki NATO, looking very attractive. It's got the double indices at 12, like a Rolex. Very Rolex-y indices, isn't it? I like their logo. I think it's cool. I heard they changed it. I like the GMT hand. Listen, man, Christopher Ward, they make pretty attractive timepieces. They're quite beautiful. What do they have? Salida movements in them? See, I don't even know. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. I like this very much. I think it's very attractive. And then let's just talk about the elephant in the room, Jim Lassick and his manly paw. Look at this guy. He could be a wrist model. This is like a wrist model shot. That's his Ed White. Look at that thing. 3861 Samish. Look at that. I mean, this is, listen, if you got the money, go and get it. Go and get it. Oh, look, I love the fact that first of all, I love the font that architects use. I have it in my arsenal. I forget what it's called, but I have that. I think it's the most beautiful font in the whole wide world. I like how it's on white now. Usually it's on that blue paper. What an absolute beast of a piece on a beast of a man. Sam-led Consulting says, "Oh my, speedy porn. Yes, please, you dirty bitch." Sam-led Consulting, you dirty bitch. Yeah. Samuel also, he's making up for lost time. Once you go Seamaster, you never go Rolex unless it's a Milgauss. Well, that's probably true, especially with me. It's not like I turned down like one of the, like I like Sky Dwellers and stuff like that. But, you know, I'm always afraid the Milgauss, I baby it because I got that scratch online. You guys heard me do it where I went like onto the microphone, and that scared the living shit out of me. I'm so afraid also because of this. This bezel is so smooth, you know? I mean, this thing, every single piece of dirt shows up on it. Like I did that little cool shot I put on Instagram yesterday when you really see the ring, and I put it in Instagram, and obviously there's a little bit of a filter on it, but Like I was looking at the bezel. I was like, I don't have a single scratch on my bezel, but it just looked kind of weird. Just because it picks up stuff. Jim Lessick, you are a legend, absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, well, when it comes to Speedmasters, we could do a whole Speedy-thon. If you guys have the Speedmasters, we could talk about it. At some point this year, I'd like to get a hold of one of those. I actually haven't checked the prices on those in a while. That's it's crazy because I used to look all day long at the 60th anniversary Speedmaster. I was obsessed with it for so long, and I used to check the prices of it like every single day, and it's I haven't looked in a while now that the prices have gone down. Maybe they're much cheaper, because when they first came out, they were super affordable. I mean, they were like, if you could get them, the trilogy were numbered, and the other ones were number 2, but it wasn't as bad. It was like something like 557 pieces, or it was 2,000 pieces. It was something like that. So those can be had. I might check that out. Maybe I'll spend my night with a cup of coffee and looking to see what those things are going for. Golf Guy says, nice Speedy. Default says, seen it in the store on rubber and deployant. Yeah, you definitely want the deployant. If you're going to go with a strap, go talk to Michael Knapp, and he'll probably source you out one of those too. Look at him. I don't even know you. I've never spoken to you, Michael, but I really think your work is beautiful, and I don't see why not. We're so lucky. Thank you, Dirk. I'm so lucky. What are you crazy? I'm the luckiest guy in the whole wide world. I got Paul, I got Laverne, I got you. You guys are great. This is like the most fun I have. Speedy's a must for any watch guy. Listen, there's one watch in everyone's list. It's a Speedmaster. There's no doubt about it. Every single guy who has a watch collection has a Speedmaster. And if they don't, they're missing it, and they haven't found the one for them yet. But everyone should have it. It doesn't have to be a moon watch. It could be a reduced. It could be a Schumacher. It could be any of the variations on the theme. It could be a moon phase. It could be a Snoopy. There's so many Speedmasters. Omega's made it easy for everybody, for a size and function and a price point, for people to have a Speedmaster in their collection. It's the most iconic watch ever made. I'm sorry. You like it, you don't like it. I don't care what people think. I mean, Reverso, Gigi Le Coutre, Submariner, sure. Speedmaster is the most iconic watch ever made. I'm sorry. CK2915, the most beautiful watch in the history of watchmaking ever made. Hands down. Absolutely ridiculous. That watch keeps me up at night. I absolutely love it. And other than that, Rolex for me was Milgausen. Thank you. It's the most beautiful thing ever. I treat it like it's made out of, like it's a child. Travis says he's considering picking up a rubber strap for. Why not? It's Speedmaster. You can anything. You could put anything on a Speedmaster, anything at all. Doesn't matter. Make your own strap. HQ Milton has a really cool 65 Ed White with a chocolate dial. Yeah, $11K. That's it. $11,000 for a tropical dial. I mean, that's crazy. Send a link to Dirk Kennedy at iCloud.com so I can have a looky-loo at that, because $11,000 for an original Ed White with a tropical dial. Those dials, they faded with over time. That's the most. This is where Paul says you should learn to keep your mouth shut. He'd be like, that's terrible price. Don't anybody buy that. Don't anybody buy that. I wouldn't want that. Oh, that's so expensive. And then you go buy it. I don't have that in me. Sam Led Consulting. We love you too, brother. You guys are the best. Tomorrow night is Wednesday night. It's just a classic, not a classic bashers. We're not doing classic. That's on Fridays now, strictly because it's been a tremendous success. So it'll just be you and me together tomorrow night, a cup of coffee and your wrist shots. So please send all of your wrist shots or whatever your other collectibles are, because this is not a watch channel. This is iBashers. We talk about movies. We talk about music. We talk about watches. That's where we all came from. And we can talk about anything else you like. So send me your wrist shots. Send me your guitar shots. Send me shots of your kitty cat or your doggy dog, or your porcelain or whatever it is that you find incredible to collect. And I don't want to miss this because Daniel said he just sent me a picture of his Speedy, and I don't want to miss out on that. Send me a better picture than that, Daniel, because we got to up the photography game here. This Daniel, everybody's favorite Daniel Gutierrez. Look at that. Can I blow that up? Look at that. Oh, he's got a little bit of a loom shot on his lanai, on his veranda. Looks great. Thank you, Daniel Gutierrez. He's having a cigar. I like that mosaic table. Very attractive. And look at that. Is that on? Can't tell. Send me for tomorrow. Send me a bigger picture, Mr. Gutierrez, so we can scrutinize the strap. And let's end tonight's wristwatch shots because a couple come in at the last minute. Now I just want to make sure I get to them with Paul's Super Ocean. What is this? The Steelfish? This is the Steelfish. Look at that. And that fits you. Man, that's a bulky watch. There's so much steel. Breitling, as you guys know, many weeks ago, I was going off and off and off on what excellent quality watches I think that they are. I thought for sure they'd contact me and ask them to start spruiking them. They didn't. Shame on them. It was shameless plugging of a brand that I think dearly needs. And you know what? We're like the perfect John Q and Jane Q publics. We're like watch aficionados. We love watches. We have watches, but we're not watch dickheads. We're not flippers. We're none of those people. We just love them. And I think that they have some of the most beautiful dials in the entire world. And the fit and finish on Breitling is beautiful. It's just they're not getting any love whatsoever. The only person I know who loves them is Jerry Seinfeld, which is crazy. Sam Led Consulting says, my Speedmaster reduced that I got for graduate school gift back in 2007 was stolen from the trunk of a car when we evacuated from a major wildfire in Santa Barbara. Never replaced it. Now's the time, man. If you want, I have a whole bunch of links. Send me an email, dirkkennedy@icloud.com, Sam Led Consulting. You can get reduced for a really, really great price. And there's so many iterations of them that you should get. Don't forget that if you want to get the classic one, it comes in 3 different variables, but then there's all the other ones, like there's the Schumacher and there's the Mini Tintin. There's so many ones you can get, and they're beautiful. Thank you so much for that, Paul. I appreciate that so much. Travis, thank you, my friend. $10 super sticker. Bang. We love it. Thank you so much. Ray super sticker. Crazy people all over town. The end of the show. It's a crazy thing. Let's get a better ding than that. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for that. 10 euros. Daniel Gutierrez says, once you have a Speedy Rolex, it's like, well, that's, I don't know. I know. I mean, listen, although you love Rolex, I do too. I love the brand. I love the history. I love my Millie. Are there a couple Rollies I love? I love the old Milghouses too. I love them. And I would love the old Explorer. Oh, I'd like a 36 mil. I know it's a little small. I have a 7.25 wrist. I think it would look great on me, and I happen to love it. I love the Explorer. I know the Polar is what everybody's getting right now, and everybody loves it, but I really do love it. 6:09. We're a couple minutes over, but I just want to say thank you so much, all you guys, for joining me on Speedy Tuesday. Thank you for all your wrist shots, your love, your super chats, your super stickers, your beautiful, beautiful voices being heard every day during the week, because sometimes we have to take it out of the hands of the powerful and the heretics who say way too much and mean very little. So I just want to say, to remind you to be nice, hold the door open, say please and thank you, and most of all, don't be a dick, because you know what? Who needs that? Nobody needs to be a dick. So until then, thanks, buddy.